So I'm going to show you a little sketchbook that I put together the other day because I had lots of bits of work hanging around on my desk, and I just thought I'm going to put them in a sketchbook because they're documented. They're not going to fly around and get lost. And it's just really nice to look through. It's just inspiring. And like I was talking about in my blog, about when you journal, you actually put things on paper, it kind of cements everything. It kind of fixes it down. So I'm just going to run through what I put together that was just kind of brought me joy just to look at them. Whether I do anything with them else is another matter, but here we go. So some of this work is from my creative workshop that I did recently on limited palette, where I had everyone only use 2 colours plus black and white. They could do collage and add texture and text if they wanted to, but the limitation was they couldn't have loads of colours to play with. So I was just doing this as a demonstration. So it's kind of putting it together while I was talking to them. So I just recorded what I was using: Indian yellow plus cobalt blue plus white. Just some really nice colours going on here. And interestingly, the yellow of the map kind of coordinates with the yellow that I've got going on here. That wasn't planned, it just happened. And I really like maps. I've always had a fascination with maps. Something about that is fixed down in time and space. Right there is a real place on Earth that exists, and you can go visit it and it's there on the map. There's something about that I just really love. Some more of that. This is from some eco printing I did last year, where I used watercolour paper, and on my blog I've got several posts about eco printing that you can find, and I'm using iron oxide to draw the natural pigment out of the leaves. And what I've done is wrap them round. I've placed the leaves on the paper, put some plastic on, wrapped it up either around a plastic tube and then tied it with lots of string so it didn't move, or wrapped the whole piece of paper around a tin can and then steamed those for about an hour. And then you take everything off, take the leaves off, and you're left with these amazing designs. I wasn't particularly happy with the definition, but there's some definition. The colours, I also had put some inks on the paper while I was placing the leaves. So this is what happened when it was steamed. Some really interesting effects. And these lines here are from the tin can as it's oxidized. So here we are, just working with nature's shapes that we find. And then with this one, I've gone over just with a black liner to pick out some definition that I was liking what's going on. And these are just nice to have in the book. I'm not sure what I'll do with them, but they're there. And this one was the back of the paper, the design that came out, and I saw sort of impressions. These were the lines, I think, from the tin, but I decided to do a sort of line drawing and make it into sort of a magical forest. Stick it on the paper and have these sort of, maybe they are fireflies or snowflakes sort of coming off the page. And this is just really pretty. I really like this. Again, it wasn't really planned. It's just sort of an accident that happened. Here, pictures from holiday. We like to go to Borth, and the scenery is really dramatic, being coastal. This is opposite the sea, so you've got huge big clouds coming in over the mountains and the marshes here. So it's just really dramatic. So I've left this page blank. I might just pick up some colours, some texture, play with that another day. Again, just an amazing sunrise in the morning. And this is an Aberystwyth. You've seen this on one of my other blogs. I just love these ice cream coloured houses. They're so fun. I love architecture. And here are my grandbaby's feet. I just love these so much, which is just a really fun little pose. One of my plants from last year's garden, just happily growing crazily over an old, rusty old door, which is in our backyard. So no planning, just doing that on its own thing. And here's my daughter, a beautiful daughter with her beautiful blooms from the garden that she was growing last year. And these are some of the things I had in my garden last year. Just an amazing design. So having a photo of it means I can really just study it and look at what's going on in the design. Really interesting shapes. Cosmos, one of my all-time favourite flowers. Super easy to grow. Very durable. Just keep cutting it and they just keep blooming, blooming, blooming all through the summer. But look at these lines. They're just beautiful, like sort of fabric swathes. So some of this I just put in just because they're beautiful. The lines are just really inspiring. I may not do any more than just have this as like a little book to look through. Really sort of beautiful pictures. This was my garden last year. All sorts of wild stuff growing and a little bit of sketchwork that I did from the garden. So it's nice just to have a record of your work. It doesn't have to be filled with finished pieces of work. It can just be inspiration. But to me, it's nice just having it in one little book.